Hello and welcome students. Today we are going to start lecture number 14 in this series. In this lecture we are going to discuss about working stress method, advantages of working stress method and disadvantages of working stress method. So first we start with the working stress method. In one of the previous lectures, we have seen what is a working stress method. So just we'll take an revision about the working stress method here. So as we know that this method is a traditional method of design used not only for the reinforced cement concrete structures, but it is also widely adopted for the design of structural steel and timber structures also. This method of design was evolved in around year 1900, which is a very old method. This method is based on linear elastic theory. That is, in this method, it is assumed that the concrete and steel are elastic, or it is assumed that the concrete and steel behaves linearly, means stress and strain are directly proportional to each other. It means that as you increase the stress, simultaneously strain is also going to increase. That is the assumption is used in this working stress method. This method ensures adequate safety by suitably restricting the stresses in the materials induced by expected working loads on the structures. So, in this method, it has been suggested to use a concept of permissible stresses, which means that whenever the structure or components of the structure are subjected to expected working loads, then we have to assure that the stresses which are going to develop in those materials, those stresses should not exceed beyond these permissible values. So that's why by using this concept we can achieve the safety concept or safety considerations. At the worst combination of working loads, the stresses in materials are not exceeded beyond the permissible values. Just what I told you initially, that in this method it has been taken care that whenever the structures are subjected to external loads, it may be dead load, live load, wind load. In all such conditions, for all combination of working loads, the stresses are not exceeded beyond the permissible stresses so that we can achieve the safety. The permissible stresses are found out by using a suitable factor of safety to the material strength. For example, for concrete in compression due to bending, a factor of safety equals to 3 is considered on 28 days characteristic strength. Now, what is this meaning of a factor of safety of 3? Let's discuss this point, that what is a factor of safety 3. So this is not a fixed value, but in on and general we'll get the factor of safety for the concrete as 3. How? Let's see. For this, let us use two tables which are given in IS 456 2000. Table number 2, which gives the grade of concrete, which we have already discussed in the lectures previously. In this table, they have been provided the different grades of concrete in three categories, that is ordinary concrete, standard concrete and high strength concrete. Along with this table, we are going to use along with this table, we are going to use table number 21, which gives us the permissible stresses in concrete. This table is specifically provided in IS 456 under the working stress method section. So these are the stresses in working stress method. So in this table, they have provided again the grades of concrete and permissible stresses in compression, in bending, and in direct compression. Bending means whenever the beams slabs are subjected to flexural loads, due to those flexural action, whatever bending stresses are going to develop, those stresses are given here. And whenever the columns are subjected to direct compression, in that case, the permissible stresses should be taken as these values. So, this value, that is permissible stresses in compression in bending, are denoted by letter sigma CBC. This letter is sigma. C stands for concrete, B stands for bending, and C stands for compression. Hence, it is permissible stress sigma in concrete in bending compression. And for direct compression, it is sigma C. So let us discuss how this factor of safety 3 is told here. So for that, we'll just merge these two tables so that we'll get, this is the table number 21 as abstracted from IS 456-2000. Here as I told you in last slide, that the grades of concrete have been given from M10 to M15, where M stands for mix and 10 stands for the characteristic strength in Newton per mm square at 28 days. And here this column number 2 stands for bending or bending stresses in compression, which is denoted by sigma CBC. So these are the permissible stresses and this is the grade of concrete. So from this grade of concrete we can get the characteristic strength also. At least for M10 it is 10 Newton per mm square. We know that for M10 grade of concrete the characteristic strength is 10 Newton per mm square, and by using relation that factor of safety is equals to characteristic strength divided by permissible strength or permissible stress, will get the factor of safety. So just let us do here that the characteristic strength for this first category is 10. Let us divide this by permissible stress, that is sigma CBC 3. So 10 divided by 3 will gives you a value of 3.33. So here we can say that for M10 grade of concrete, the factor of safety is 3.33. Likewise, if you calculate the factor of safety for all the grades, the values comes like this. For M15, it is 3 because 15 divided by 5 equals to 3. M20, it is 2.86 because 20 divided by 7. Then 25 divided by 8.5, you will get 2.94. Then M30, for 30 divided by 10, you will get 3. So likewise, if you calculate the factor of safety for all grades, then the factor of safety will be like this. So here you can observe that these all values are just lying in around 3. So that's why we can take the on an average or general value of factor of safety for concrete as 3. So this is the reason why we are using the statement that the factor of safety for concrete at 28 days characteristic strength will be considered as 3. Similarly, for steel, the factor of safety is adopted equals to 1.8. That is, the factor of safety equals to 1.8 is considered on yield strength for steel reinforcement in tension due to bending. Tension due to bending means whenever the concrete beam is subjected to flexural load, we know that the steel is undergoes to tensile stresses due to flexural action. So in that condition, the factor of safety will be considered as 1.8 for the steel. On the yield strength means it is the yield stress or proof stress, 0.2% proof stress. So for this again we are going to refer table number 22, which gives the permissible stresses in steel reinforcement. In column number 1, they have given the types of stresses in reinforcement. We have considered only one case here. You can go through the table, the remaining table afterwards. So first case is for the tension, and in that again two sub cases. That is, first is the for the bars which are having diameter up to 20 mm and the bars which are having diameter more than 20 mm. These two cases are given. So here we'll get the permissible stresses in steel in tension, sigma st. Second column gives us the mild steel bars conforming to grade 1, that is for Fe250 grade of steel. These values are given. In last column, the values for Fe415 specifically given, which is called as high yield strength deformed bars or HYSD bars. And second column here gives the minimum tensile steel conforming, medium tensile steel conforming to IS 432. Okay. So as we know, discussed previously also, for the mild steel, the characteristic strength, we know that Fe250 grade of steel, the characteristic strength Fy is equals to 250 Newton per mm square. And at the same time, the permissible stress here for this mild steel is given as 140. So again, let us calculate the factor of safety here just by dividing 250 by 140. So this value comes to 1.79 for the bar diameters less than or equals to 20 mm. Then for bar diameters which are more than 20 mm diameter size, these values can be calculated as 250 divided by 130, which comes to 1.92. So if you take the average of this value comes to near about 1.8. That's why this value is taken as 1.8. This is for mild steel. Now similarly considered for the HYSD bars. For HYSD steel Fe415, we know that the characteristic strength Fy will be equals to 415 Newton per mm square. And the permissible stress given is 230. So again here we'll calculate the factor of safety by dividing 415 with 230. So we'll get the factor of safety as 1.8. So this is for this is for HYSD bars for Fe415 grade of steel. Along with Fe415, we are also using Fe500 grade of steel. So for Fe500 grade of steel, the characteristic strength is 500 Newton per mm square. But in this table, the permissible stresses for Fe500 is not given. But for that, they have given one note. So that note is that for the high yield steel strength deformed bars of grade Fe500, the permissible stress in direct tension and flexural tension shall be 0.55 times Fy. It means that this permissible stress value, what we have to use here, this value should be equals to 0.55 times 500 because Fy is 500. So this value is equals to 275. Now to calculate the factor of safety, just we'll divide 500 by 275 so that we'll get the factor of safety of 1.81. Again, this value, if you take the average, it is again equals to 1.805, or you can take it as 1.8. So that is the reason why we are using this sentence, that the factor of safety equals to 1.8 is considered on yield strength for steel reinforcement. Again, one more concept is very important, what is considered in working stress method, that is the reserve strength of material. As we know that every material is having some strength or by considering the stress strain relationship. But again, as we have discussed previously, that in working stress method, the stress strain relationship is considered as a linear stress strain relationship. Hence, the result strength of material beyond yield point is not considered in this method of design. Why? Because as I told you, the stress strain relationship, what is considered in working stress method is the linear. So it assumes that after yield point, the structure that material is will fail. That is after reaching to the yield point, that material is going to fail. That is assumed. That's why the result strength is not considered in working stress method. Though we know that actual behavior of materials are like this. Here you will get the yield point. Then again that material can carry some additional load and then it is going to fail. But this graph is not adopted in working stress method. So that's why this concept is used here. Reserve strength is not considered. Hence, the section sizes what we get in working stress method are also heavier or more as compared to the limit state method. The reinforced concrete is a composite material, as we know. It is a combination of concrete and steel, and the working stress method takes into consideration the strain compatibility. Strain compatibility means the strain in steel is assumed to be equal to that of concrete. It means that whenever the concrete is subjected to any external load, whenever the concrete is subjected to external load, the strain in steel and strain in concrete which is surrounded over that steel, it is assumed to be equal. Okay, so it means that the strain in steel is assumed to be equal to that of concrete. So this will make a stress in steel to behave a constant relationship. Stress in steel to have a constant relationship with concrete adjoining by the means of a constant factor, and this constant factor is called as a modular ratio. To fulfill the condition that strain in steel should be equal to strain in concrete, we have to consider one factor, standard factor, which is called as a modular ratio here. The modular ratio is nothing but it is the ratio of modulus of elasticity of steel to that of concrete. Modulus of elasticity of steel to the modulus of elasticity of concrete. So that we'll get the strain in steel and strain in concrete equals. So generally this modular ratio is expressed by small m, which is equals to ES by EC, and this can be obtained by using one relation which is 280 divided by 3 into sigma CBC, where sigma CBC is the permissible stress in concrete in bending compression. So due to this modular ratio, the working stress method is also sometimes referred as modular ratio method. So we'll stop here. In next part, we'll discuss the advantages and disadvantages.